trip is bringing the party to the island. Join the guys at Treasure Island May 28th and 29th for 2 unforgettable shows full of games, laughs, and huge prizes, including Vegas trips. Book your stay and save 20% with promo code KFAN, plus a special announcement that's worth the trip alone. Details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Keyword calendar. You could make an argument. You know what? When I talked earlier in the year about trading Ant, you could make an argument to trade Justin Jefferson if you wanted to, right?
Sure.
Now it can be dangerous. Look what happened to Dallas. They traded Doncic, but they did end up getting. The league felt sorry for him, so they got the number 1 pick in the draft and got the Cooper Flag guy. But sometimes if you think you could get a boatload for Jefferson, right? Now, I'm not suggesting they should trade him now at this point. We got the new QB in the fold and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you have to say, we got a wonderful asset here, and we look at the whole of the sum of the parts. Maybe it's better we move in a different direction. But Ant's playing well. I mean, he's as good as it gets. Well, maybe not as good as it gets, but he's one of the top players in the league. And all I know is it's not over till it's over. Time for 5-3-4 now.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brought to you by Willow River Company.
Question number 1.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hip hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Yeah, the bottom 3 hitters in the lineup, Cody Clemens, Brooks Lee, and Royce Lewis combined for 6 hits and 4 runs, leading the Twins to a 5-4 victory over the Guardians yesterday. The Twins won a series in Cleveland for the first time since September of 2023 by winning the final 2 games. It was the Twins' first series victory in nearly a month. Common, will a Twins series win spring them into more success in the near future?
Well, I'm not quite so sure about that because I think the whole of the sum of the parts, whatever that even means, I just heard that the other day. Well, I've heard it before than just the other day, but I'd never used it often, and I want to use it all the time. Some of the whole of the parts. I was hoping you asked me, what do I take away from that? You know what I take away from it? Royce Lewis in the bottom third of the order. Think about that. The guy that Lavelle O'Neal III said to me he would not trade even if I could guarantee him the Twins would win 1 World Series by trading him. And yet he is at the bottom third of the lineup. They won Saturday with 2 hits. 2 hits. I think, did I see that right? The Guardians also had only 2 hits, 4 hits in the game. And the bullpen was, I think that was Sunday's game. The bullpen was just terrific. Throwing blanks. Just 0, 0, 0, which is different because that's really been, we got a couple Achilles heels. We're like in a 3-legged race. You ever do the 3-legged race in school? In elementary school, the Twins are so bad they have 3 Achilles heels. Their starting staff, their offense and their defense, and that's 4 actually. Their bullpen as well. So I don't know about spring. The division get injuries to that starting staff. The division's we lost what's his name? Taj lost him for 2 weeks. It looks like. But the good news is, it looked like Joe Ryan was donezo. I mean, he left 2 starts ago. He leaves after 9 pitches. Elbow problems. That's Tommy John. He's done. And then instead, he makes his next start and was really good. Pitched pretty well. Because the division is so bad, because the entire American League is terrible, I don't know. I still, at the end of the day, I don't think this team has enough, not only star power, but just quality everyday players that are going to give you enough opportunity to win more than you lose. So I still think it's going to be a long season, but by the way, we 2-3 games out. I don't know what it is because everybody's so bad. I mean, do we even have a 500 team leading the division? I mean, I think with 500 going into the weekend was the top record in the American League Central. So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, I don't think when we talk about do you like...
Cleveland's on top at 21-21.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. 500 club, 21-21. While I ask the question often, do you like parades, I don't know if we're going to have to concern ourselves with the Twins parade. But, yeah, better to win than lose, I guess. Yeah.
Question number 2.
It's time now to focus on the frost.
I doubted him.
Yeah, Sidney Morin scored twice. Matty Rooney made 29 saves as the Frost staved off elimination with a 3-1 win over the Montreal Victoire Friday night in St. Paul. So that series now tied 2-2. And the Frost and Victoire play a decisive Game 5 tonight in Montreal. Obviously, it's a 5-game series. Common, what's your prediction for tonight? Can the Frost advance again?
I'm going to be Homer Soda. And I'm going to say we win. And why not? Why not us? Why not now? We have a championship pedigree. I love that. Even though it really doesn't mean anything going into tonight's game, I'm going to go with it anyways. Championship pedigree. Why not? Do you have a more insightful take other than just we've got a championship?
I was at
pedigree?
Game 4 Friday night at Grand Casino Arena, and I thought about you while watching the game because the goalie for the Frost name is Matty Rooney. And when she makes the save, all the fans go, "Roo!" And my 9-year-old son turns to me and goes, "Why are they booing?"
Love it.
So, thought about you there. But
you have to explain it to him then?
Yeah, I did. I had to explain it to him. So he's in on it now. But yeah, it was pretty tough defensive game. There's not a lot of chances to go either way. That Montreal goalie is really, really good. And, it was scoreless they kept it scoreless as long as possible.
Right.
Montreal scores early in the third period, and you're thinking, well, in a game like this where it's been so challenging to score,
that might be
going to be hard for the Frost to climb up that hill. But they get 2 goals from their defenseman, Sidney Morin, and then they get the empty netter from Panic at the end, and the place was rocking. It's a fun atmosphere. I really enjoy the Frost game. There's just a cool vibe about the crowd that is there.
And did I shouldn't admit this, working at the all-sports station that I just skim stories often, that Morin, those were her first goals of the playoffs, or was it of the season even? I saw some note where it's like it kind of came from an unexpected...
Yeah, she's not... I mean, they have a lot of scoring. If you look at like the PWHL scoring leaders, Panic led the league in goals, and Heisey's up there, and Kendall Coyne-Schofield, and Grace Zumwinkle, who we had on with Heisey at the State Fair. They're pretty low. They scored the most goals in the league, but Morin was not necessarily that person, and not like they were just it was kind of the way you had to score in Montreal. Is you're going to get shots from the points, and you had to screen the goalie and take away her vision and create a lot of net front, and that's how they put both goals in.
Go Frost.
But they also did a pretty good job. I mean, Matty Rooney was brilliant through stretch. There was one play, I still don't know how Montreal didn't score on it. But yeah, Frost.
But let me ask you a question. As well as she was playing, why were they booing her? That's what I don't
know. I don't understand why. Yeah. I thought Frost fans were...
I'll have to ask your son about that. Maybe he can explain it to me.
Question number 3. It's time now for a look at the Lynx.
The Lynx, playing without Nafisa Collier, blew a 15-point lead and lost to the Atlanta Dream 91-90 in their season opener Saturday at Target Center. Atlanta outscored the Lynx 54-38 in the second half. They did get a good performance, though, a debut from rookie Olivia Miles, who they drafted second overall. She finished with 21 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. She became the first guard to put up 20-plus points and 5-plus assists in a WNBA debut since 1999. Common, your thoughts on the Lynx season opening loss?
Well, I, sort of give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. You give them a little law. I mean, you won enough titles, and it's new. The rookie did play well, from what I understand. They'll be fine, I think, right? It was kind of an ugly way to lose, but it's early, season opener. I mean, we're on pace. How many games did they play in the WNBA? 38, 35?
Yeah, around 40-ish, yeah.
They're on pace to go 0-40. So that does leave some cause for concern, but I think they'll snap out of it. So
I did not see the game. I did see one highlight of that Olivia Miles. Holy cow, is she quick.
Yeah.
She's got a little wiggle to her.
Yeah, there were those that I kind of liked, and look, it's not like I am not to the WNBA draft what meat sauce is to the NFL draft. I don't follow it as closely as I once did. But I like size in basketball, i.e. Victor Wembanyama.
You wanted the Wembanyama of the WNBA.
I wanted the 6'7" gal from UCLA. I watched her play the Gophers in the NCAA tournament. But point guard's a pretty important position. Last I checked, and she can play. So I'll leave that. I'll leave the draft the drafting personnel to Cheryl and the rest.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Real quick, Tenneby, this text message came in during 534. It says, this sports talk is great and all, but give the listeners what they really want to know. Did Abbott fix the computer? I'm not sure he left in a huff, so I'm not sure he did get it fixed, but I'll ask him and I'll have a full report for you.
I mean, anytime you want to fix a computer, you just reboot. That fixes it 90% of the time.
The reboot is what we do.
Yeah, you do the reboot.
Yeah. By the way, someone said they love all the sports news, but did you get the computer fixed?
No.
I was going to say, he's back in.
Do you think Chernoff is doing this?
Nick Chernoff is not doing this.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to try a network adapter. I'll let you know.
All right, well, we'll keep you posted on it. It seems like most people want to know the computer situation for meat sauce. A 534 presented by the Willow River Company. Don't just maintain your property, experience it. With a Willow River Experience monthly subscription, you can bundle 5 core services, 3 seasonal upgrades, and 4 custom add-ons into one simple plan. You see, that's your own 534 experience. Visit Willow River Company today, willowrivercompany.com. That's willowrivercompany.com. Tenneby's got a keyword.
TheFan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword coin at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. That keyword is coin. You enter now at KFAN.com.
The Common Man.
My Chemical Romance at Target Field, August 24th. Grab your tickets before they're gone. Get all the details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pastime common. He is Tenneby. Plenty to get to here on the Common Man program in regards to the Wolves in the Wild, but a couple of text messages. This one says, Common, listen to the Power Trip when Meat Sauce does not have a computer. It is down there with Tenneby doing the hip-hop trivia on the Tennatanic. Abbott fixing the computer is the most significant effort to save the station since you added Wheel of Topic. Here's another. Tell Abbott sometimes you have to reboot, check for updates, then reboot again, and if that doesn't work, you use a hammer. Here's another. Tell Abbott usually you just have to replace the batteries in those Leapfrog toddler computers. That should get Sauce up and running. I think that's what Sauce uses, is one of those Leapfrog toddler computers. This one says, only so much you can fix, either as something running, slowing it down, or possibly outdated software is causing longer load times. Otherwise, it just needs to be upgraded. If Abbott is as good at computers as he is at blinds, just throw it in the garbage. Wow, remember that when he tried to fix the blinds that day?
I did.
Did you guys try changing the flux capacitor? This one says, could it be the gonculator? That would be my suggestion. That's the first thing I thought of. This one says, why does Meat Sauce need a computer anyway? He can barely handle a spoon and fork. And I agree with that. What does he need a computer for? Lucky. That doesn't he basically just go lucky most of the time he's on the Power Trip? That's what I would think. What's this about Aaron Gleeman has left the Athletic?
He's gone.
Well, was he given the boot? Did he resign? What happened?
It sounds like they wanted him to cover something else. So
rather than one of the worst teams in sports.
I mean, I don't have all the info, and I think he has a new site. He's trying to do everything independently now. But he just basically was like, well, I just cover the Twins. That's all I can do. That's what I want to do. He didn't want to cover something else.
I wonder, do you think, now let me ask you a question, and I know you don't know the answers to this, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Do you think it's possible that as bad as the Twins are, that's why they thought he needs to cover more? Is it a financial thing? I'm saying, well, we can't pay you just to do that. You need to branch out. Or is it the Twins are so bad, what is there to write about? I know Gleeman and the Geek, they love baseball. That's what they do. That's their love.
I would be curious to see what else they wanted him to do. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted another Wild writer or a Wolves writer with a big playoff run.
Yeah. I guess. So, so he's just going off on his own?
He's going independent, yeah.
Well, from my sources tell me that Gleeman and the Geek, the podcast, generates significant income.
Yeah,
so,
he's got enough built-in audience. I think he's going to be just fine.
I think he'll be just fine. As a matter of fact, we had Gleeman on a few times, but everybody we had Bonus on. That's the Geek of Gleeman and the Geek. We love having Johnny Bonus on. We spread the wealth here at the Fan, so we like to have Johnny Bonus on. Maybe we should have him on sometime and talk. We haven't had him on yet this year, right?
No. We
should probably have him come on and see what does he make of this Twins club. And where they've been, where they're going, and where they're at. You have to try to explain it to me. How can a team like the Wild look so lost in the first two games, down 0-2, and then play a game that was? Now you described it perfectly. The goaltending was great. They seemed to play better defensively. Their specialty teams were better. Everything was better. Is that just more of a focus, or how do you explain it?
I'm going to give you an answer I know you're not going to like.
Okay.
Because it's the aspect of professional sports you don't like when I don't want to say this. You can maybe say it's an excuse.
Okay.
I do think there was a Dallas Stars hangover because one, that matchup was built up for months. You knew you were going to be playing them. They're one of the best teams in the league. You have the history of trying to overcome a franchise that doesn't ever get out of the first round and hasn't in a long time. You're playing a franchise that the Minnesota North Stars left our state to go there. There was so much put into that. I do think our fans treated that series as if like we'd won the Stanley Cup. And I felt like that series took so much out of them emotionally, and there was such a quick turnaround that they never really got the chance to like digest that series, pause, and now let's get motivated for the next series. I just felt like that coming down from that series just bled into the first two games, because games one, specifically game one, but even game two, looked like a Wild team that we haven't seen in a while. Haven't seen all playoffs, and I just don't think they were mentally, emotionally, psychologically focused and ready for those games to play the way they needed to play against a really good team. And I felt like game three, we saw the Wild team that we saw in the series against Dallas.
You know what I like best about that answer?
Yeah.
It was long enough to allow me to have several more bites of my lunch. I appreciate you taking that. That was nice. It was very, and it wasn't like you talked slowly.
You didn't even do the stretch thing to me.
No, I didn't even need to do that. Well, let me throw this one at you, too. We talked about this with the Wolves, and I think maybe Krasinski or somebody wrote about it. Maybe it was somewhere in the Fish Wrap on the West Side, where they talked about the Wolves, for instance, right? That in the first couple of times in the playoffs, really excited after the first round win, and now because they've been to the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years, there's more of, that was great. You let it go right away.
Sure.
You just kind of say, well, that was great, but that doesn't matter anymore. That just got us to the next step in our goal is to win the title, and that's just one step. And not that the Wild players felt that way, but the franchise hadn't been out of the first round in quite some time. So you have the excitement of that. And then, like you say, It's an emotional series against a team that you knew you were going to play. What's going on now under there?
Sorry.
He's got some kind of a searchlight down there. What are you looking for? The gonculator?
Isn't it funny he picked noon to 3 to fix the computer?
Yeah, noon to 3.
Could have had any other 9 to noon wasn't even here today. They're at Vox in the Box, Dink in the Rink.
Couldn't you fix it during Vox in the Box? Why did you pick during the program?
Do your show.
You're distracting him from getting his job done.
He's literally he's on his belly right now, trying to fix it. Better him than me. Volsted's in from now on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more, what do we do with the goaltending situation? He was really good, wasn't he? I thought he was terrific.
He was.
Denver had some grade A chances. They did, and he was really good.
You know, when we were starting the playoffs against Dallas and the discussion was who would you go with, Volsted, Gustafsson, I've always thought Gustafsson's a quality goalie. I just don't know if he's like a climb on my back guys, right? Like that type of goalie that can like invigorate with his personality through the entire team and the fan base. And I thought Volsted had that potential. Volsted just, he plays with more confidence, which I think your team is going to feed off of how your goalie is sending out the signals. And they're going to start playing for you. Like, I mean, you look at the last 3 minutes of the game, they're up 3 goals.
Yep.
Now, the game is not over, but they don't need to be jumping and diving in front of every single shot at that point, right? And they were. They're absolutely selling out because they were playing for their goalie, because their goalie had their back. And I would say for most of the game, like, Volsted wasn't... It's not like he had to steal the game for you. But he had to make some pretty significant saves at significant moments. The one in the first period where the Wild were outplaying Colorado, and it's still a 0-0 game because they hadn't scored yet. And then Kelly all of a sudden is all alone with Volsted. I mean, that can change the game right there. All of a sudden, Colorado's up 1-0 in a game in which they've been outclassed and outplayed. And then Minnesota starts going, well, here we go again, mentally. That was a big save. He had a big save on McKinnon on a semi-breakaway. And then, yeah, I mean, the last couple minutes of the game, even though you're up 3 goals, it was just absolutely shut down by him. He was terrific, and the team plays better in front of him.
And you know, you mentioned that, you know, when he exudes confidence, that washes off. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, the rest of the team picks up on it. That was the same way when I goaltended for the Clowns. That was the name of our boot hockey team. I had that kind of confidence, and my team would just feed off of that. And that's what we did see. And here's what I'm about to say, something controversial.
That's interesting.
If you were the coach of the Wild, you would have played Volsted. It'd be 2-2 right now. No, it'd be
2 on us.
Be 2 on us.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But I think if you're the coach, as a matter of fact, I'm calling for you to take over the head coach of the Wild. You generally don't see that happen during the playoffs, but I would be willing to do it. Speaking of the Wild, Tenneby's got a little Wild today for us.
Yeah, this is Wild Today. It's brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Kirill gave us a thrill early in Game 3.
The slot, Kaprizov wide open, dances with it. He scores! Kaprizov undressed Wedgwood and ripped it upstairs. The Wild have a 1-0 lead.
Joe O'Donnell on the call. You heard that game right here on the Fan. Kirill Kaprizov, a goal and 2 assists as the Wild beat the Avalanche 5-1 at Grand Casino Arena. Cut that series deficit to 2-1, which is now in favor of Colorado. Game 4 will be tonight in St. Paul. Joel Eriksson Ek did not practice this morning. He is out tonight. It does look like, though, the Avs will make a goalie change. It looks like, even though it wasn't fully announced, that Mackenzie Blackwood will replace Scott Wedgwood in net. Game 4, Wild versus Avalanche. That's tonight. Puck drop shortly after 7. You can hear that game right here on the Fan. That was Wild Today, brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Buy tickets to Guys and Dolls at chanhassendt.com.
It was a fun...
The radio home of Minnesota Sports is also on YouTube. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials, and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
It's Lucian. Penny's got it. Turns, fires, shot. No. The rebound is collected by Harper. The horn sounds, and this game is over. The Wolves have rallied in the fourth quarter from 8 down with 7:48 to play, and they win it 114-109, and they've evened the best-of-7 series at 2 games apiece.
Circle, a shot by Natchez. Fought off by Volson. He got the rebound from Cantry as well. McCart out left side of drive. Flubbed by Natchez. McKinnon tries to center. Swatted around in the slot, not cleared. McCart out left side of shot. Blocked out in front by Spurgeon. Another drive. This one by Cantry was blocked. Bowled into the empty net. Scores! Matt Boldy from long range.
I think the best sports talk shows include sound bites and highlights during their shows. I think they do it to try to enhance the product. We do it just to kill time. That's less.
Killed like another minute.
Yeah. Matter of fact, if you could have squeezed it another way, if you could squeeze in the whole Wembanyama thing from the time that he elbowed Nas in the face till let the announcers talk, as they are reviewing the film and then have it. Now that probably took 5 minutes. That could get us to the top of the hour almost.
I did load the shortened version in, but there was a longer version that I had the...
How long was the longer
I
version?
never looked at it. I could find it. I think I have a link to it.
We might want to do the shorter version. Before we do that, though, we do have a number of text messages to get to on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. But, Tennessee, you being a father of 3, you probably have gone through this where you offer sage advice, fatherly advice to your kids, right?
Not sure they listen to it very much, but...
No, like one of the first things I tell both my boys, if you have a really, really difficult question that I'm not comfortable answering, go ask your mother. That's number one. Next, I always told them, ask not what your father can do for you, but what can you do for your dad? That's even more important. I also told them that make sure you're not good at anything you don't like doing, because then you're going to be asked to do it again and again and again. And then I also told them, if you are ever in trouble, just deny. Just never stop denying.
I
gave some advice to baby brother Peter the other day. He's on his way to San Francisco, and no, I don't think he'll wear flowers in his hair. He's flying out on Memorial Day evening to go to San Francisco for like a 2-month, maybe even longer than that. He'll be there till like the first week of August, doing an internship for a private equity firm. I don't even know why. I guess it's the money. He says, well, no, it's 16, 18-hour days, 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting together like some type, you're making an offer, you're putting together some kind of a purchase offer or something for a company. And then you're the person in charge of putting it together. And like, you can't have a misspelling. You can't spell the word need, like we need this. You can't spell it KNEAD. You just can't do it, or it's the way it is. And so
you got to make sure you have the right version of there.
Yes. And he says, you can get called in where, one of the people running the company will go, I really don't like the way the layout looks. Could you redo it and have it done I need it by 8:00 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll do it. So, but he's ready for that. He's not going to have a car while he's in San Francisco. He doesn't need one. The company is they'll pay for your Uber ride home because it'll be like at midnight, right? But you have to find your own way there. He says it will be where he's got his place, about a 20-minute walk, which is nothing, right? San Francisco is nice. He's looking forward to it. So he'll walk to work and then he'll Uber home. But then he has to go back to the Ohio State University for his senior year. The lease on his car is about to expire, so we have to figure out another mode of transportation. With the kind of money he's making at the internship, I think it's about time he pays for that transportation. And what I told him was, when you are buying or leasing a car, this is the advice I gave him, and tell me if you think this is good. This is the best advice I gave him. When you are buying a car, don't worry about the price. Don't worry about the make, the model, the color, or the options. The only important consideration is, can your golf clubs fit comfortably into the trunk, right? Because have you ever had a car where they don't, where you got to wedge them in? You know, the driver's a little too long and you're smacking it around back there. There's nothing.
You laugh, but I used to have that exact same philosophy with hockey equipment.
Oh, okay.
Specifically like the sticks.
Right.
Right, because the sticks don't fit in most trunks.
That's correct.
But that's why I was driving Chevy Impalas for so long, because they always had trunks big enough to just fit my sticks and my bag back there.
The Chevy Impala is what I drive, and it is a wonderful. The trunk is. It would be a good mafia car. You could fit a body in the trunk. You know, it's that big, right? Now I don't know if you could fit a body the size of Wembanyama. I don't think you could get somebody 7'4" in there. But and Pete understands the importance of that. Well, now what they have in the cars too, which is really nice, is the back seat will fold down from the trunk, right? You know, for either 2/3 of it or 1/3 of it. Though, if your golf clubs are like partly in the back seat and somebody sees them, that's a good way to get them stolen. You look at them and go, break into that. Anybody that knows the value of golf clubs will know that you could take them to a pawn shop, and you could probably make some decent money for them. Deuce, my firstborn, loins the whole thing. He really wants to go to a Wild game. And I know a guy who knows a guy who's searching right now. They're kind of hard to come by. I mean, I know you can go. You could probably. Is it easy to just go to Ticketmaster, StubHub right now and buy tickets? But they're outrageous.
Oh yeah, the prices are. Yeah.
What is it? What right for Game 4 tonight? Are we talking like? We're not four figures though, are we?
I'm sure for the higher end ones, yes. I haven't looked for tonight, but I've looked at previous games because my boys want to go. And for like Game 1, Game 2, some of the Dallas series, I mean, you're talking, $300 a pop, and you're sitting up in the second, 200 level.
Man. And everybody who is a sports is your whole life just sports fan. I don't know if you're at different stages of your rubedom, of your sports consumption life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a time, I remember when the Vikings were playing the Falcons. Do you say Falcons or Falcons?
I'm a Falcons guy.
I'm a Falcons guy. They were this was way back in the days of, like, I think Steve Bartkowski was a quarterback. Maybe even went further back than that. I know it was post Tommy Nobis. Tommy Nobis was a great linebacker for Atlanta. Atlanta was always awful back in the 60s as an expansion franchise, but the Vikings were hosting at Metrodome the Falcons, and we bought tickets for that game. We wanted to be at the playoff game. My buddy, my friend, the late Pat O'Mara, he stood in line for us, and he was the one who bought the tickets. He stood in the gate. That's when you had to stand outside. Did you know there was a time where you had to stand outside the stadium and buy from the ticket office at the stadium? This is before, you had a handheld computer which doubles as a communication device, so you could just order them easily like that. You had to actually...
You'd camp out like the night before.
You would camp out. You'd have to go down there and buy physical tickets. I still... Anytime... look... Full disclosure, I think most people realize, because we are audio partners with the Vikings, the Wolves, the Wild, the Gophers. Occasionally, there are tickets that are available to us. And, for instance, if I get tickets to, like, let's say a Wild game. Deuce and I went to a Wild game earlier this year. Well, 6-7 weeks ago. 6-7. And then Emily says, well, who should I send? Don't send them to me. I got no idea what they send them to your phone, and then you gotta. I don't even know how it works. All of a sudden, they send the tickets to your phone, and then you have to open something up with a password, and then all of a sudden there's some kind of a barcode on your phone, and that's the ticket, I guess. And then you go up there, and as you check in, they have this little handheld. It's almost like a checkout
thing. Like at the grocery store. Yeah.
And I was in beep. I don't dare do that. I'll lose those things. Same with parking tickets, all of that. Parking passes. I don't do any of that because I know I can't do it. I'm.
You could if you tried.
Yeah, I could.
I mean, it's the way the future's going.
I don't know how much future I have left, though. I'm 6'7". I don't know if I need to know that. As long as I have Deuce and baby brother Peter and my lovely wife Potato at my side, they can do that for me.
Heck, we even had the Twins game the other day when we went. I gave Leo $10 to go get, a pretzel or something. And he comes back. It's cashless. I mean, they won't even take cash.
Well, that's un-American. It is. It's un-American. You should be able to cash his... There used to be a phrase called cash is king.
Cash in, cash out.
Cash in, cash out. So...
I'm looking at prices for tonight.
Okay.
The cheapest ones I see are $182 in Section 211, that's going to be behind the Avalanche's goalie, I believe, for the first and third period, and you're up in the 200 level. Row 5, seats 5 and 6.
Now, is this through one of those like SeatGeek?
This is StubHub.
Okay. And that's all legit. I don't have to worry. If I bought tickets, I would have said, well, those tickets aren't available, right? This is all on the up and up, right? The StubHubs, the SeatGeeks, and all that, they have tickets.
Funny thing is that the most expensive tickets I see, $614, are also in Section 200, which makes no sense to me. Row 1, Section 214. It looks like, lower level, the cheapest I see is $285 a pop.
Wow.
You can get into club level for $585.
What's club level?
That's basically like the level right next to the suite level.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's basically like suite level, but without all the benefits of having the suite. Yeah.
What are the chances I could get Lee Polt's number and see if I could get him to bring me induced into the game tonight? 0, right? Craig, old buddy, old pal. We text and talk more than most. We've never texted and talked, so that's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's like...
I'd call Fallness if I were you.
Yeah, but I don't want to call Fallness.
They're not going to have anything available.
No, I know,
either.
but even if he did something, you go, I rarely pay attention to the Wild, rarely talk about him except with Tennessee, yet I want tickets to the game. And I'm doing it. I do this for Deuce and baby brother Pete is what I'm doing it for.
If the Frost win tonight and get to the finals, I can get Deuce in there.
He would do that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. He
I know a guy.
Yeah, you know a guy who knows a guy. He loves that hockey stuff. Common, was that playoff game where the Falcons scored on a fake field goal? I had consumed a whole multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughers. I don't remember the game. I just know it was like in 1980, 81. That's when we bought tickets. It was 79, 80, 81 when we played the Falcons in a playoff game. We hosted it. We decided to go. I only went to one football game at the old Metropolitan Stadium. Same thing with the O'Mara brothers and my buddy Saxton, John Saxton. And it was Philadelphia against the Vikings. This is how little interest we had in attending the game. It was December, right? O'Mara's lived right by the stadium in an apartment complex. You could basically see the old Metropolitan Stadium from their apartment complex. We got to the game about the start of the second quarter, went in. By the end of the second quarter, we said, let's go home, watch it on TV, and drink more beer. It was just miserably cold. It's just that, the idea of being... Now, since then, I've gone to really cold games at Lambeau. I've seen Vikings play there, Detroit play there against Green Bay. Common, please tell BBP to take a winter coat with them because, of course, the coldest winter I ever spent was the summer in San Francisco. That is true. It's cold there apparently all the time in San Francisco. I mean, no.
I mean, it depends how you define cold. It's kind of like fall, spring weather all the time. It's not, you're not going to be needing a parka there. But yes, you need to layer up there.
Okay.
You got to wear layers. You'll start, it'll be 60 degrees.
Lieber, he must mean Lieber. Lieber said he had an empty seat next to his family last game. It was where his wife forgot her purse and he spent most of Mother's Day trying to get it. No! I don't even understand what that means. Do you have any idea?
I didn't catch the beginning of it, but I did hear the tail end of the day that apparently Something happened where Lieber's wife left her purse at the Wild game.
Oh. Hope she got it back. I told you this before. My brother, his old business manager, a guy named Bobby Sturgis, he was a huge North Stars fan. Okay? Sat back at the old Metropolitan Stadium. He had 3 season tickets. You know what they were for? One for the person he brought with him, and then they kept the middle seat open where they could put their coats.
Brilliant! Could be nice to have that much money.
Oh, yeah. It's just we need a place to set our coats. I told you the trick, I didn't invent or come up with this idea. Somebody else did. You always bring one of those kitchen trash bags, the plastic ones or the white tie. And then when in the winter you go to the game, you pull it out. It folds up beautifully, right? Put it in your back pocket. You take your winter coat and put it in there, tie it up, and put it under your seat. Then you don't have to have it uncomfortably on your seat where you can't really sit comfortably. And then if somebody's bound to spill a beer on it, right? It's
disgusting under those seats, too.
It's disgusting, so you don't want to put it under there. So you put it, I'm surprised more people don't do it. Somebody should sell them outside the stadium.
Well, you should brand them with Wild logos and then sell them on the way in.
That's what I would do.
And then you do plastic bags for your peanut shells for the Twins game. You brand them.
There you go.
Yeah.
This says Game 3 versus Dallas. Section 124, row 10 was $340 a piece. $340 a piece.
That sounds about right.
Everybody has a limit to how much, and everybody's in a different financial stratosphere. Depending upon how much money you are willing to spend to go to a game. Man. So $1.82 you said on StubHub?
The cheapest.
The cheapest. Yeah. I just love watching a game at home for all the reasons I've stated. Hundreds of times. Your food is right there. You don't have to pay for the concessions. No parking, no walking to or from. Restrooms right there. I know you don't get the electric atmosphere at home that you get from being at the stadium. And when you're young and naive and think that's the place to be, I can understand why you want to go because it can be fun. I mean, I've gone to 5 minutes after the greatest Game 7 in World Series history, I'm on the field slapping Big Black Jack Morris on the back, and that's when I told him he spoiled it. That's half the reason, at least half, if not 3/4, because any event I go to now, even tonight would pale and even if the Wild won, it would be cool, but it'd be like, yeah, but that was just Game 4. It wasn't like Game 7 of the World Series, 1-0, 10-inning complete game shutout. It just doesn't compare, but I got a guy who knows a guy who's still looking, and again, they're not going to be free, but I'm hoping to get something that would be
maybe what you could do is Game 5 is in Colorado Wednesday, and it might be cheaper to take the flight out there and go watch the Wild in Colorado.
That's a hell of an idea. I bet that would be cheaper to do it that way. Maybe you should be a travel agent.
Can I get a fee for that?
If this radio
advice I just gave you?
If this radio thing doesn't work out, maybe a travel agent. Well, somebody recommended this. Chad Abbott is still in here trying to fix the computer. I've seen him bring a monkey wrench and a crescent wrench in here as well as a sledgehammer. This was so good. This says, Abbott seems dissatisfied with his job. He's always grumpy. If he's looking for a change, we have an IT help desk support position he could apply for. It pays $29K a year and a 2% 401K match. And before he asks, I don't think Tenna has the right skills and qualifications. Because Tenna B is looking for... Oh, and then somebody else suggested this, Chad Abbott. Chad, Alt, Control, Delete.
Look, here's the deal. I got the internet working. You doubted me.
Yeah, I did.
The problem is the switch box. It's an 8-port and an Ethernet switch box, and we need the only ones we have backup is a 5. I tried the 16, but it's not powered Ethernet to supply power to these cameras, so therefore these cameras aren't working. So the internet's working, just trying to get power to the cables, or cameras, but we need a powered Ethernet port. Do you know where one might be?
Amazon would probably deliver one.
Well, yeah.
Walmart? I don't know. Better you than me. This one's...
By the way, tickets for Game 5, cheapest are $180 in Colorado, so we're not getting them any cheaper there.
This one says, has Chad Abbott fallen and can't get up? And can we get Chad's segment sponsored? We'd love to if you'd like to sponsor the Chad Abbott segment of the Common Man program. I'll call this radio station or the Radio Advertising Bureau because radio is red hot. We'll pause, come back another hour to go. It's Common and 10 to be here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Lil B and Marty Gellner take on Alec Lewis and Muss tomorrow at 1:15.